Now that it's been a while since my Spyro 1 comparisons have been uploaded, I've had time to learn and see what's worked and what didn't work in the series. Without boring the heck out of you, I'm just going to tell you what I'm adding to the Spyro series with this video and every video after this. I will be talking about all of the voice actors and any little trivia I can find. I know in my videos I never talked about the skyboxes, but that's because I don't really feel qualified. I don't know much about color theory, and honestly the skybox doesn't really matter to me anyway. But other than that, I'll try to cover as much as I can. Let's begin. So it seems Spyro wasn't born an artisan dragon. In the Japanese manual of Spyro the Dragon, it explains the eggs of Spyro and Sparks were rescued from egg thieves by the artisan dragons. But none of the dragons know where the eggs came from. In the first demo of the game, the title theme was played in the artisans instead of the real theme, and the artisan dragons have different voices and dialogue.
Thank you for releasing me. Free the dragons in the artisan world, then seek out the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Norg?
That's all I can tell you.
Where's Nasty? I'll torch him.
Go after some sheep first. Those little creatures release butterflies, which Sparks the dragonfly eats. Sparks protects you.
Press the jump button twice to glide, and don't be afraid.
Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks, plummeting into prehistoric glaciers, crashing through...
Oh, that.
Argus isn't in the demo, probably because Toasty isn't accessible in the demo. You can hear his audio through hacking, but Argus still won't appear because he was never supposed to be in the demo in the first place. Lastly, in Artisan Home, there's a door right on the castle in early versions of the game. I have no clue what it could have led to, but a door was added in the Reignited trilogy in the same spot. In Reignited, the door has collision and is shaking animation, which could be referencing DLC, but I'm not here to make fake promises. Stonehill doesn't have much interesting trivia. All I could find is that in the demo, the dragons are all text, probably because they weren't done yet. You can glitch or hack over the barrier and find a lot of the background mountains have collision for some reason. It plays the credits music in one of the betas. In the Spyro demo you access through a cheat in Crash 3, Town Square replaces the portal for Stonehill, but keeps the Stonehill music. Speaking of Town Square, I can only find one interesting thing, and that is that the Town Square's background is reused in Spyro 3's Charmed Ridge. The opening of Spyro the Dragon takes place in Dark Hollow, except it's daytime there instead of nighttime. And notice, Latif, Revelo, Aster, and Lindar are all frozen in Dark Hollow, but are found in Stonehill, Dreamweavers, and Jacques. In one of the demos, Sunny Flight is just referred to as flying, and the amount of time it gives you for completion is less than the final game. This applies to every single flight level, so I'm not going to bring it up again. Other than Nasty's final worlds, Toasty is the only level that you enter through a dragon head. It is not playable by the moment you enter the hub. Like Nasty's world, you need to finish an artisan land before you can enter. In some early commercials, there was this disgruntled sheep that was nicknamed Toasty, leading some to believe the sheep from the commercial is the same as the one in the game. And in a late demo, the stage is called Boss and has different music that isn't from any of the stages. I found nothing interesting about the Peacekeeper's Hub. Dry Canyon is the first of 3 stages to keep its name in both English and Japanese, and in a late demo, Dry Canyon uses Alpine Ridges track. So I never knew this as a glitch, but Clifftown is one of 4 stages in Spyro Reignited that Spyro will just fly out of frame instead of looping down normally. I mean, I always thought it looked bad, so it makes sense that it's a glitch. Clifftown is the second stage that keeps its name in Japan. If you stay in this stage long enough, it will start playing the credits music. In a late demo of Ice Cavern, it plays Dark Hollow's music. For Dr. Shemp, I feel like the origin of the term Shemp has been done to death, so I'm skipping all that stuff. Dr. Shemp thinks he's a cool guy, and his idols in both games prove that. Dr. Shemp's sound effects are reused for Sleepyhead in Spyro 3. In the late demo, this realm is called Boss and has Ice Caverns music. And lastly, the final battle with the Sorceress in Spyro 3 uses Dr. Shemp's background, but adds some towers. If you repeatedly talk to the balloonist and magic crafters, he will tell you that he will help you locate the dragon eggs and warp you to a level by an egg. The song that plays in Alpine Ridge is a remix of the Night Flight song, and is also remixed as an alternate track for the Dreamweavers. In the June 1998 demo, the stage is called Alpine Cliffs. It plays the Terrorist Village track, and in Reignited, the beasts are fed Wumpa fruit. High Caves is the first stage that uses the ever-iconic Super Flame power-up. The music is a slowed-down version of Treetops in most versions of the game. This is the first time Spyro doesn't do his backflip into the stage. And in the late demo, this stage uses Stone Hill's music. Wizard Peak is the last stage to keep its name in Japan. In the late demo of Wizard Peak, the artisan home music plays. In Reignited, Blowhard can be hurt by charging, making it the only boss in any version of Spyro 1 to be hurt by charging. Everyone else gets hurt by flame. Again, the late demo has the stage called Boss, and many areas in the demo have dead ends. In the demo, the camera follows Blowhard when you attack him. It's also the only stage where the dragon doesn't mention the boss or give you any hints about him. That's as far as I want to go for stages. Let's talk about some of the trivia for enemies in the first 3 hub worlds. When collecting gems from Gem Thieves in Reignited, it plays the Spyro 2 and 3 gem sound effects. The bulls from Town Square don't have the red-tipped horns in the NTSC version of the PS1 Spyro, probably because it looks like blood. But they did like the bulls so much that it was on the front cover of Spyro 1. In the Japanese and European versions of the game, the soldiers' red tip on their blades are censored. But the funny thing is, they didn't censor the faraway model, so you see the red on the tip of the blade far away, but you don't see it when you get close. Because of a glitch, the armored Norks from Ice Cavern will die after 4 hits if not pushed over an edge. In the late demo, the armored druids from Magic Crafters have different noises. The green wizards in the original screenshots of Spyro Reignited looked a lot more like the original before later being changed to darker colors. And lastly, some of the armored druids found in Wizard Peak spin as they die. I'm not sure if it's a glitch because it is only a few of the armored druids, and it only happens in one of the many levels they were found in. My theory is that the animation was changed just in case they get killed by one of the hammer Norks. They need to account for 2 ways this druid is killed, so I think that animation stems from that. That's it for enemies for now. Let's handle all of the dragons, and oh boy, have I got a treat for you. Nestor is the only dragon you can't skip when releasing him. And lastly, in Reignited, the original design of Nestor was drastically changed and later reused for another dragon. Although personally, I think it was just a placeholder. Thomas was originally named Sylvis in the earliest demo of Spyro. Argus is the only dragon in the game to have changing dialogue, one before you beat an artisan world, and one after. Lindar's voice changes between the first cutscene and his dragon dialogue after freeing him.
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6?
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
The first time Aster appears in the first cutscene, he is played by Carlos Alazraqui, while his in-game dragon is voiced by Michael J. Gow. Nils uses the same model as Nestor with only minor differences. The wood sculpture that Nils is working on is quite interesting. Half of it looks like Reignited Spyro, while the other half looks like classic Spyro. Aside from some patterns on Devlin's stomach, he shares the same model as Argus. Oswin is the last character to share a model with both Thor and Thomas. Oswin's design in Reignited was the original Nestor design from the first trailer for Spyro Reignited Trilogy, but again I think it was just a placeholder. Nevin shares the same character model as Devlin, Gavin, and Albin. You encounter Magnus once in Peacekeeper's Home and once in Nork Nexus. Magnus not only sounds different, but looks a little different too. His wings are a darker color in the NTSC version as well as the late demo. His horns are brown instead of yellow.
Hi, Spyro! Sparks the dragonfly has been doing a good job protecting you. Make sure to keep him strong by feeding him lots of butterflies.
Nasty's ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Nasty's treasure hoard. But the gate will not open until you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom. Come back when you have reached 100%.
Speaking of the late demo, Spyro has an added line with their interaction.
Hi, Spyro! Sparks the dragonfly has been doing a good job protecting you. Make sure to keep him strong by feeding him lots of butterflies.
I can do that.
Conan just uses the same voice line from Thor.
Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
In the late demo of the game, Boris has different colors. Ivor's dialogue in the late demo was all glitched and slowed down, so he doesn't even finish his line of dialogue before disappearing.
Spyro! You're the young dragon I've been hearing so much about. Ever since you're
In the late demo, Maximo shares a model with Magnus, and he has the same audio bug as Ivor.
incredible glide, Spyro. I thought I'd be stuck here forever with those ugly vultures standing on my head.
Enzo looks exactly like Magnus in the late demo. In the late demo, Halvor is brown, and has that dreaded audio bug.
How's a dragon supposed to flame metal armor anyway? Remember, Spyro. Flame.
Halvor in Reignited also has this hammer whose top looks like the rumbling ram from Skylanders. In the late demo, Ulrich is green and has a different voice.
A word of caution, little one. Wait until you grow big, like me, before charging those large enemies.
In the late demo, Todor is brown instead of blue. In the late demo, Trondo looks exactly identical to Marco. Xantor calls the supercharge the Super Dash in the late demo.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a Super Dash.
Super Dash! Excellent!
Go ahead, try it.
Cosmos has different dialogue that Spyro actually responds to in the late demo.
Welcome to Magic Crafters, Spyro. Help us and recover our eggs from these pesky blue thieves. No problem.
Boldar in the late demo has a different voice, and both him and Spyro have different dialogue.
This portal leads to a special place where young dragons' wings grow and they can fly. Why, I remember when I was learning to fly.
Okay already.
In the original, Boldar shares a model with Altair, and his color is changed in the PAL region. For Kelvin, his cutscene had no music, but the Japanese version added music.
That these blue thieves haven't stolen eggs only in the Magic Crafter world. Don't worry, I'll take care of them.
小さい割になかなかやるね。でもお前に盗賊が捕まえられるかな？
バカにしちゃいけないよ。
Ajax has different colors between North America, being more green, and the Japan/PAL region, being more gray. In the PS1 version, Lucas, Cosmos, Kelvin, Eldred, and Cyrus all share the same character model. In Reignited, his orb disappears before he does. Now that we're done with all the dragons I wanted to cover, let's just talk about some interesting things I found. Here's 2 facts about Spyro I bet you didn't know. Even though Spyro is known to have spikes on his back in all the artworks, the original 3 games didn't have said spikes, and the horns that are always depicted yellow in the artwork are actually orange in the original games. The logo to the very first Spyro game is the only one to have the spike on the logo on the Y and not the S. The Japanese version of Spyro has these dragonfly eggs scattered all across the levels, which you can use the Pocket Station Mini to train your own dragonflies. The Japanese version of Spyro also has signs scattered about that teach you how to play the game, and tell you other things, I guess. I don't know Japanese. It also had this really bad camera that was made because the Japanese audience complained about 3D motion sickness. But from what I hear, a later version of the game does fix this if you hold L1 and R1 before starting. And like that, I think I'm done with this part. The next part shouldn't take me too long to get out. I'm gonna work my butt off to get it out, that's all I can say. I don't know what else to say. Anyways, hope this comes out better than my Spyro videos did, because I see a lot of problems in them. And see you next time. And I hope you learned something new. Bye.